Yeah. Right. Hopefully, once we stream, it will be all right. Oh, hooray! Hooray! Seem to be working. We've had some glitches, but it is the time of year where the elf on the shelf gets around a bit. So I'm wondering if he's had something to do with these glitches. I had some gingerbread the other day that was elf on the shelf gingerbread. That was very nice. Anyway, here we are. It's Friday. It's 5 to 5 and it's crackerjack. And unless you are of a certain age, you actually won't know what I'm talking about. But there's nobody hopped on yet, has there? No, so I can talk away to myself about anything that I like because there's nobody listening to me. It's been a bit of a rush, hasn't it, in the end?
Well, we're not used to this time in the morning.
No.
That's why
I feel like it's just a continuation of last night's live, actually.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, I think we're frozen. Oh no, it's just I was sitting quiet. I'm hoping it is streaming onto Fairy Sheet Club.
Right, it says Miss Paintalot Fairy Sheet Club is live now.
All right, well, come on, guys, get cracking. My half hour is going to be up before we even get started at this rate. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Well, I guess the thing to do is just start.
Okay, well, I was going to show you anyway what I've been doing recently, so you won't miss anything during this part. This was last night's live over on my page, the Miss Paintalot page, where we painted some holly, put some leaf on and made a Christmas card. So that was last night's live. This one you watched me paint most of it and then I finished it off, but we're going to utilise some of these grasses today in the Floral Friday, and this one we're going to utilise some of these bluebells in the picture that we're doing today, which is this one. This is my latest one, this Botanical Rose, which I really enjoyed doing. So let's get down to today's business in hand, and this is it. I think you can possibly say it's a very light sketch on some watercolour paper. We've got a couple of poppies, some bluebells, and when all that's done, if I've got time, I'm going to put some grasses in as well. So I've mixed up some paint in preparation. We're going to start off with the well, let's start off with the bluebells actually, see if we can get them sorted. So just some clean water on your brush, paint the shape of the bluebell in water, so you're getting a sort of watery glaze over the shape of your bluebell. These are quite simplified. We haven't got time to really go into too many details, so this is quite a simplified sketch and painting, but I'm hoping it's something that you think that you could have a go at. So I've got my glaze of water there. I don't know if you can see it shining, and so I'm just going to pick up some of this blue that I've mixed previously and just drop it into there. Now I want a very light blue shade. Let's just stir this up, see what we've got. That sort of shade is nice, sort of bluey purpley colour. So I'm just dropping it into the water that we've already got on there. And the water will drag it as far as the water is, but if you haven't painted your water outside the line, then the paint won't go outside the line. I just want to charge that colour up a little bit. It needs a bit more colour than that, I think. So just add some more pigment to it. I want it pale, but that's just a bit too pale. I'm just going to start here because the darkest bit is always at the top. where it joins on. And you see when I'm dropping that in, it's just following the water down. So I know that you can do that. I know you can. So same thing with the next one that we've got. Paint it in water. And somehow it just doesn't seem worrying that you're painting it in water. It seems, you know, almost silly really. So get your glaze of water on there. Don't put it outside the lines. If you do, wait for it to dry. What that is. And start at the top where it's at its darkest, and then wipe your pigment off and just drag this colour down a little bit. So there we are, that's 2 bluebells. Have we got any more? Yes, one here. So clean water again. Has anyone joined us?
Alison Young has joined.
Hi Alison, thanks for joining. I'm doing this because Jess is poorly, and so I had a late night mercy call from Paula. And can you do Floral Friday? So it's all been a bit rushed really, but hopefully you'll get something out of it. I'm hoping so anyway. So I'm dropping my blue into there, and then I'm wiping the pigment off, and I'm just putting this down towards the end of the bud of the flower. So there we are, I hope you can see that. Right, let's move on to, well, I've got 2 little buds here actually, of the bluebell, so we'll put those in now while we've got that colour. Let's get a more suitable brush. Oh, that's got red on it. That's not good. So I'm just going to paint these again with water. A bit too much water on that one. I'll come back and lift some up in a minute, in a sec. And this one as well. Mop some of that water up and use it on this one.
Paula's joined us.
Hi Paula. Thanks for joining. And just a little bit of blue on these. I'll come back later and put some more detail on, but just a little bit of blue. Let that find its own level in the water. And same on this one. And that'll spread out quite nicely in the water, so you don't need to worry about that anymore. I don't suppose you were worried about it in the first place. Right, so let's move on to the poppies. Let's do this one first. So it's the same kind of story here. I've moved to a bigger brush because I've got a bigger area, which, you know, makes sense. I want to cover the area with water first. You've seen me do it loads of times. If you haven't done this already, get some courage. You don't need much courage because it's not actually going to cost you much. Just try it and you'll just see how easy it is. So if you sort of twist your paper, you'll see if you've actually managed to cover the whole area with water. Because if you don't, the paint won't flow into it. The paint will follow the water. That's why we know it won't go outside the flower shape. I've got a hair there which I could very nicely live without. Come on. The problem with this is when I'm not here, the cat thinks it's a good place to sit and look out the window. Oh. Sorry guys, I've got hair that I can't seem to pick up. Can you pick up this? There. Lovely, thank you. Right, I'm going to have to go back in with my water now because it's begun to dry and we really need quite a lot, you know, more, maybe more than usual on this poppy.
And Shaz has joined.
Hi Shaz, hope you're feeling okay today. Right, that's the water on it. So I've got some red that I've mixed up previously, so I'll just waken that up a bit. It's quite a juicy mix, there's quite a lot of pigment in here. So I'm just going to drop this along this edge. And you'll see it naturally wants to spread the way that the water is. I'm just going to take a little bit more and just encourage it to go down that way a little bit more. Lots of pigment on here, lots. Poppies are very bright. In fact, they are poppy red. So there we are, that's fine, I think. Let's just stick some more in, why not? So that's just water and pigment. So I'm going to wash my brush out, rinse it in the dirty water, clean it in the clean, and I've got some dark purple here, which I'm going to add into the base here and just let that spread a little bit. There we are. And what I'm going to do now is take a piece of scrumpled up tissue paper, kitchen towel, so it's scrumpled up, and just dab it just once, just there, and you'll get all that texture in your poppy, and it begins to actually look real. Don't use the same bit to go back on because you might get the black purpley bit up in your red and you don't want that. So I'm just gonna come up there a little bit. Right, okay, that's that. I'm happy with that. I like that. So let's move on to this one. So you'll see that was really easily peasy to do. You can do this.
Oh, this isn't Shaz say they miss seeing your face.
Oh, well, this was a bit of a hurried setup this morning, I must be honest. Mr. Fix-It had to be somewhere, so we had to get up at some silly hour so as he could actually get to where he needed to be and get back for this. So, you know what I mean. It's just, sorry, it's not, you're not seeing me. I'm just going to draw that straight across there because this is a bud. And then I'm going to put the dark purple in at the base again, because even on buds you can see this bit. And then once again I'm going to take my cloth, my clean bit kitchen towel, and just dab that off. Maybe could do with a bit more red on that. I've been a bit too dabby. So let's add some more in. So that, you know, that's the thing. If you make a mistake, just go back. And it possibly even needs a bit more purple. Very dabby. So there we are. And if the two colours mingle like these ones are, that's fine, because they actually do in real life sort of mingle. I just need more in there. Right, so that's the poppies done. This is a bit of a whistle-stop tour, isn't it? And let's move on to this, which is a poppy bud. So similar thing. I'm showing you all, this is called wet in wet, because your paper's wet and obviously your paint's wet. We will be doing another technique which is wet and dry, but let's just do this first. So I'm going to use this quite lime zingy green down here, and then I'm going to come in with some darker green at the top and let them mix together like that. So we've got something that looks kind of buddish. Okay, right. So the question now is, do I need to strengthen up anything? Does it need more pigment anywhere? I think the bluebells could possibly do, I'm just going to add some more pigment to that mix. They could possibly do with a little bit of help just at the top here. So let's just put a little bit of that on fairly randomly, just to give it a bit of real colour. So the question is, do any of you feel that you could actually, I'm sort of putting it on in points really, because that's the way that these bluebells or harebells or whatever they are look in life. So I've got point, a little bit more around there, a little bit more around here. And I'm just going to take my very small brush with some of this on it and just complete this, because the only thing I've got completing it at the moment is a pencil line, which is not good. So there we are. I'm just going to add a little bit of water to there because it's just, it hasn't blended, it's just given me a hard edge, which I don't want. Okay, so yeah, bluebells don't look so bad, I don't think. Poppies look okay. They don't look quite so nice on camera, but they're there. They look all right, and the little bud looks fine. So now it's time to move on to the stalks, possibly. So you need a really fine brush for this, and I'm using a rigger. Has another name, but I can't remember what you call it now. Fine liner, script. Anything that's really long and has got a good point. So you wet it, so your brush is nice and wet, and then you roll it in the pigment, keep rolling, and as you're moving it away, still keep rolling, so you get a really nice fine point at the end. Just dab the point off, just in case there's a drop of water sitting there, and then we'll just draw in these stems.
Alison says she feels she could have a go. You make it look so easy.
Yeah, of course you can have a go. Of course you can. What is, really, let's weigh it up. What is the worst thing that could happen? You know, death is not going to befall you, I don't think. So, you know, given that that's off the table, anything else would be fine. So I'm just drawing these very thin lines. This takes a bit of practice, so don't expect that you will be able to do this first off. You do need to get the hang of your paintbrush and the paints. And even so, as I'm doing this, it's skipping. So, and you will have to turn your paper around so you've got a good angle for you. I can't put my hands in the poppies. That's my problem at the moment, because they're still wet. Now the poppies, they've got a different stem. They've got a greeny stem, so I'll just clean that brush out. And just going to make a little bit of a mix between this darker green that I've got here and this lime green. That's probably fine. So make sure your brush is wet into there. And these have got a thicker stem, so we'll go down way. It joins on with a sort of thicker bit there. I don't think I've had quite enough caffeine this morning. I'm just going to go back into this, weaken this lime green up a little bit and just go on one side of it with that lime green, just to add a bit of interest and to give it an indication that it's got light coming from one side, which always makes your painting look a bit more credible. So this needs its little thing that it sort of sits on. It's still wet, so I'm picking up that purple, which I'm going to have to avoid that like the very plague. I'm just picking this up a little bit. If you push your brush down, you'll get excuse me, you get a thicker mark. Get that lime green down, run it down one side. You get a much more interesting stem. It looks like it's sort of meant to be there. Can you see this all right, guys? Let me know. I don't know what I'm going to do about it if you can't, but let me know. Okay, right, so 25 minutes, there we go. Now, I think we've just got time to pop some grasses in, and you're going to like these guys because they're nice and easy. I've got bits and marks and stuff all over the place here. This is kind of, in my mind, a sort of meadow scene, a sort of springtime, early summer, June-ish, with the poppies and the bluebells, and you see them in fields or meadows, and they don't just look like that, they do have grasses around them. So let's go back to this one here, and you'll see how I've painted these grasses. So we'll have a go at that. So once again, I've mixed up some colours. This is quite a light brown, and I'm just going to put them, and really that is all you do. You just make sure that your brush has got the pigment on, and then you just place it and drop it down. We'll come back with a slightly darker brown into those, just so they look a bit more credible. But you know, there is absolutely nothing complicated about it. Put the tip of your brush down and then squash it down onto the paper. And before you know it, you've got grasses everywhere. Problem is, they're so nice to do, it's knowing when to stop. So it's literally put the point of your brush down, then put the whole of your brush down, and you end up with little bits looking like this. Where should we go now? In here maybe. I think we're just about there. We don't want to ruin it now. Yeah, I'm going to call that done at that. And then I just want to pick up some brown. That's a little bit on the wishy-washy side. And you just go sort of, not over, but just the odd little fleck in your grasses. If you want to, you can do green as well. It all adds to it. It's just dab, dab, dab. Nothing complicated at all. And this is very much wetting to dry. And you need wetting to dry when you're doing details, because as you can see, when you put wet into wet, it spreads. So if you want to do details, you have to do wet into dry. So my paper's dry. Okay, so now all I need are some stems for these grasses. Just going to be a mixture of the sort of brown and the first colour of the grasses. So mid-tone. I'm just going to, it's a bit thick.
She has said she loves how you teach in bite-sized chunks. But to be honest, some of your bite-sized chunks can be quite big.
There's no need. There's no need for that. I like bite-size anything, but you know, when it says on the packet, share with your family, really? Do they really expect me to share it with the family? I don't think so. You know those revels that you get, and it says, what does it say, like tear and share sort of thing?
Family pack.
Family pack.
Yeah, for sharing.
Yeah,
Family
yeah,
pack
that's
for
right,
sharing.
for sharing. Come on. You're having a laugh. So I'm bringing this down there, and then I'm going to bring this one to join it. And I'd probably get away with joining that one as well. This one, I think I'm going to have to make him his own stem. And this one as well. I'll just miss out the bluebells. And this one here. So, okay, there we go, guys. What do you reckon? Your half hour on the dot Friday floral. Have a go, please have a go. It's really great fun. You can't go that far wrong with this. It's a very simplistic way of doing things. I think the thing you might have a problem with are the stems. They really take a little bit of I keep looking up to where the camera normally is, like I'm talking to you, and it's not there. So but that's that. It's done. I'm going to sign it, call it a day. There we are. So if you do have a go, and I'm begging you to have a go because it's just easy, please post your pics in the club and let's have a look, see how you get on. That's it. Okay, I'm done. Thanks for having me. I'll see you when I see you. I'll see you around in the club, and I'll see you over on my own page, Miss Paintalot. And until then, bye.